One of the most common questions people will ask me about thinking about climbing Kilimanjaro is, how hard is it really? And the answer actually surprises people. Let me get into it. Because Kilimanjaro, it isn't technically difficult. You don't need ropes, axes, or even prior climbing experience to reach the summit. But that doesn't mean it's easy. Because what makes Kilimanjaro challenging isn't the technical climb, it's altitude, endurance, and managing your effort over several days in the mountain. Because a lot of people hear that Kilimanjaro is a trekking mountain. So they imagine it's just a long, arduous hike. But what people don't realize is the summit of Kilimanjaro stands at just under 6,000 meters, or just over 19,000 feet above sea level. You might not understand what that means, but that's high altitude. So as you climb higher, the air contains less oxygen and your body has to work harder to perform even the simplest of tasks. So the real challenge on Kilimanjaro isn't the technical terrain, it's how your body responds to altitude and how well you manage that energy throughout the climb. People assume the hardest part of Kilimanjaro is only the summit night, but that's where it surprises most. And while the summit night, of course, is one of the biggest challenges of their lives, there are actually three parts of the climb that many people underestimate. So the first is the beginning of the climb, because during the first couple of days, the trails can be steeper and longer than most people expect. So most climbers arrive excited and full of energy, but they're not prepared for the grade of the trail and the effort required for long hours uphill. So during these early days, the body begins to feel the initial effects of altitude. You're gaining elevation, your breathing begins to change, and your body starts to process that acclimatization. So that combination can make the first couple of days surprisingly challenging for many climbers. Now, of course, the second challenge is the summit night. It's the longest day. This is where climbers begin their summit early morning. You're climbing in the dark, it's cold, and it is extremely high altitude. You know, you're getting close to the 6,000 meter mark. So every step requires effort, and the progress becomes so slow and deliberate. This is where patience and mental resilience becomes incredibly important. But reaching the summit, keep in mind, as the sun starts to rise over the African plains, is an experience that most people remember for the rest of their lives. So, the third challenge, the one that people don't expect, it's the descent. Coming down the mountain, for the majority of people, actually feels harder than going up, because gravity is relentless. And by this point, how do you think you feel? You had just summited the highest point in Africa. You're physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted because of the summit night. So those long downhill sections can be tough on your legs. Maintaining focus and steady pacing becomes so important. But you just want to get down. You know, over the years of guiding Kilimanjaro, one thing becomes very clear. Success in the mountain, it's not always about being the strongest and the fastest person in the group. The climbers who tend to do the best are usually the ones who understand a few key things. Well, they understand pacing, they understand hydration, they listen to their lead guides. But most important, they base moving slowly yet consistent. You know, on Kilimanjaro, you'll hear the locals say, pole pole. What do you think that means? It means slowly in Swahili. And that philosophy is one of the keys to reaching the summit. So for many climbers, Kilimanjaro is more than just reaching the summit. It becomes that journey, that experience. Over the course of close to a week, you climb through multiple climate zones. It's so unique to Kilimanjaro, from rainforest to alpine desert to Arctic conditions near the summit. The landscapes change dramatically each day. Along the way, climbers share the experience with guides and porters and teammates, you know, who are all working toward the same goal. So by the time you stand on the summit, you've truly earned it. So how hard is Kilimanjaro? Well, it's not a technical climb, but it's a serious mountain. So the right preparation, patience, and of course respect for altitude, most people are capable of reaching the summit of Kilimanjaro. And for many climbers, it becomes one of the most meaningful adventures of their lives. I've seen it. So if climbing Kilimanjaro is something you've been thinking about, well, preparation and understanding is what to expect. And this mountain can make it a great experience for you.